That's 800-819-8315.
The following program does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership of this station.
It's time to get on the right path with Right Path Real Estate Radio.
Go on to Facebook, folks.
Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today.
To the show. Please come inside. Ladies and gentlemen.
Get ready. The guy that will put your fears
Mr.
behind
Perry.
you is on the air now. Taking calls at 713-785-1817. Toll free 877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Tom Perry.
Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Right Path Real Estate Radio. 713-785-1817. 713-785-1817. I'm getting all set up on my Facebook page, all of that. Our next event is going to be this Thursday. It's going to be at the West Chase Hilton, 9999 Westheimer. If you want to go find out more about that event, go to rightpathrealestate.com. We've got a brand new website. New content's going up every single day. It's really exciting to see all the stuff that's happening on that site. Hey, good morning, Daniel. How are you doing? So, long time no see. Haven't seen you since Sunday. So we did our first event up in the Dallas marketplace, and it was really exciting to have people from Seattle and San Francisco and Pittsburgh and Boston and Denver and, of course, Dallas and Hurst. And had some great folks come out. And it's exciting seeing what's happening with our students, the success that they're getting. You know, what we do in Houston House Buyers is not rocket surgery, but it's not the easiest thing in the world either. I had a friend of mine came up from Austin to our event, and he's not ever done real estate before other than his own personal house. And, he said, if I go to the weekend retreat, am I going to get everything that I need to know in order to start the business? And my answer to him was, yes, of course. The challenge is that you can get a bachelor's degree, equivalent in a weekend, but you may not have the ears to hear all the information. Because if you don't have a grid for the vocabulary, for all the data that's there, it's going to be difficult to absorb. If you're going from 0 to 100 miles an hour, that can be challenging. And so, good morning, Valley. How are you doing? And so I'm saying hello to people on the Book of Faces, because that's how we have so many people that are listening to us around the country, because we are on AM 1110, which is based out of Houston. We're also rebroadcast in Dallas from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on AM 620. So welcome to those folks when you join us later this afternoon. You can call us in at 713-785-1817, or you can go to Facebook, like our Right Path Real Estate page, and you can watch me live in the studio. Or it's recorded later. A lot of people say, especially, friends in San Francisco or Seattle, they're like, I'm not going to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and watch the show live, but they can enjoy the show at their own convenience. I think we have a couple of thousand people watch the show throughout the day on a national basis. It's crazy how much this thing is growing, how much people are learning about how to find deals, how to fund deals, how to market for deals, how to market the deals once they have them, how to buy, fix, and flip, how to wholesale, how to buy and hold. Those are all great strategies. But you have to know what to do and when, and it's different from market to market. You need to learn how to solve for the right X, which is one of the things we're going to be talking about this Thursday. And then I'll talk about it next Thursday up in Dallas. We're going to do, in fact, I'm going to go right now to our Right Path Real Estate website. You can follow along with me. So rightpathrealestate.com. You can scroll down. You can see our next events that are coming up. So we've got the DFW RIA meeting is going to happen, Solving for the Right X. That's going to be on May 11th. And then we're also going to have our event right here in Houston this May 4th at 9999 Westheimer. That's the West Chase Hilton, so it's just inside the Beltway. And I was in Verizon yesterday getting a Wi-Fi puck for Jason and I, because we've just gone to these new Surface books. And love the Surface book. I've retired my iPad and my MacBook Pro and just replaced it with this one Surface book. But it doesn't have cellular built into it. So whenever it's got Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi is almost ubiquitous, but it's not completely. And so when I'm driving down the road, not while I'm driving, but when I'm driving, And because I'm not surfing the internet while I'm driving. I promise I'm not doing that. I will talk on the phone while I'm driving, but I won't text or do any of those other things. At least I don't like to. And but, I pull up in front of a house. I want to pull comps, things like that. The only downside of the Surface Book is that it doesn't have cellular built in. So I got a Wi-Fi puck. And, it's interesting. Guy just moved to Houston from Philadelphia about 4 years ago. And he's been living in Houston. And he said, they don't really have the kind of flipping that people talk about down here. And he goes, I've been looking for somebody that I could talk to about getting into it. And I'm like, well, I might be your guy. We've done a few deals. We've done, a little over 300 since July of 2013 just in Houston House Buyers. We've done a few more than that. Or we've done less than that, but over 100 in Sell Us Your House. It's over 400 between the two companies. And so we know a few things about, finding, funding, and flipping deals. We have some buy and hold properties. We've wholesaled a gaggle of properties. And really what we're trying to do is create a win-win scenario. Wholesaling, just to go as an aside to wholesaling is really about finding deals and helping investors with deal flow. It starts with a bird dog is somebody that would just generate the leads but doesn't really have the skill set to close the deal, get it under contract. A wholesaler has developed an even greater skill set to be able to find a property. Most investors, if they're going to flip a house, they should be buying at 70% of ARV minus the cost of repairs. And back up and let's talk about vocabulary. ARV is the after repair value. 70%. A lot of people know that number 70%, but they don't really know where it comes from. And really, typically when you're selling a house, it's going to cost you about 10% closing cost. It's going to cost you about 10% holding cost. And you should make about 10% profit as long as you're dealing with properties of $200,000 and above. So that means you're making at least $20,000 per deal. And if you can execute really well, you can exceed that by improving on your holding costs, by improving on the ARV, or reducing your contracting costs. But this Thursday, we're going to be talking about solving for the right X, which is really taking and curing one of the mistakes that I see rookies make. And rookies oftentimes solve for what their budget is for the repairs based on what they can buy the property at and based on what they think the ARV is. But that's the wrong X, and we'll be talking more about that. If you want to get details about that information, you need to come to our event. It's free of charge. That's one of the best parts. And people say, well, Tom, how do I get started? That's a great place to go. Come to our event on Thursday. You're going to see our radio show sponsors will be there. Our vendors will be there. Real estate is a team sport. Like a lot of things in life, you don't get to the top by yourself. We're in Everest climbing season. Unfortunately, there's already been one tragedy. One of the top climbers in the world just passed away this past week, preparing to summit not Everest, but apparently he was up at base camp, had some medical complications, and passed away up at base camp. But I think it was the mountain right next door to Everest, and so he was kind of warming up for climbing Everest, and so it's a dangerous sport. Real estate's not that dangerous. The worst that can happen to you is you lose some money, and if you're not earning, you're learning, right? And so most people are willing to invest in a degree in their education, and you can either invest through a coach, somebody like that wants to teach you, or you can invest in this what I call the school of hard knocks, right? And that's the way life works. There's shortcuts to things in life. Typically, you can learn from your own mistakes, or you can learn from the mistakes of others. But it's a lot to learn. You can start with zero knowledge, and oftentimes what happens is we go to an event and we look at people that are getting success, and you say, I want to be where they are, like right now. But you don't want to start where they started. A lot of people look where Jason and I are right now, and they go, we want to be where you are. And I go, great. Well, you got to start where we started. Go back to, October of 2010 when I was starting Fast Track and didn't know anything about real estate other than, what I had studied in college. I'd taken all the courses necessary to get a real estate license.
2 minutes.
But had never actually gotten licensed in real estate. But don't compare yourself to where you are versus where somebody that's been down the path. If you wanted to start climbing, mountains, don't look at yourself versus, experienced climbers. Look at yourself versus other people that are just getting started. And realize that you can learn a lot from people that, the old timers. If you want to learn fishing, the best way to do it is you can go out there and start dropping a line and figuring it out on your own, but you can learn even faster if you know someone that's been fishing for a long time. And there's a lot of shortcuts, to fishing and things like that. And that's one of the secrets to life is learn from people that have already been there, done that. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. We're a call-in show, 713-785-1817. We tell people if you want to get started in real estate investing in any of the different forms of buy, fix, and flip, buy and hold, or wholesaling, you can put your fear of investing behind you and get started by showing up to one of our events free of charge. You can also put your fear of calling behind you and call in 713-785-1817. You can ask questions about title, about funding, about finding, about marketing, about sales, about all those different kind of situations. So give us a call, 713-785-1817. That's 713-785-1817.
Mike's off.
Investor loans offering up to 100% financing are still available. You just have to know where to look. Look no further than Noble Mortgage. Noble Mortgage is a full-service mortgage company that's been helping investors since 2003. Noble Mortgage offers up to 100% financing to investors that covers purchase, repairs, and closing costs. In addition to private money, Noble Mortgage offers conventional loans, FHA, and even no-income documentation loans for both residential and commercial properties. Call and ask about our 5-point guarantee, which includes free pre-qualifications within 2 business days. Call 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com. Our team has over 50 years experience in the mortgage industry. Call us today, 713-680-8100, or visit us on the web, noblemoney.com, noblemoney.com.
NMLS 292143, 8203 Willow Place Drive, Houston, Texas, 77070.
If you have cracks in your walls, ceilings, or floors, you may have a foundation leveling problem. Do you have doors that stick or just won't open right? Maybe you have gaps in the bricks of your fireplace. You need Green Tree Foundation Leveling, a fast, high-quality foundation leveling company based here in Houston. They know how hot it gets on the Gulf Coast. High summer temperatures, heavy rainfall, and clay-rich soils are leading causes of foundation cracks. If you have a cracked slab or a shifting foundation, call Green Tree Foundation Leveling at 832-329-1687. How old is your house? Many older homes in our area require foundation repairs simply because of our climate and soil conditions. Green Tree Foundation Leveling provides free estimates within 24 hours. They repair concrete slab foundations and pier and beam homes too. The experts at Green Tree Foundation Leveling work fast and offer competitive rates, even a lifetime transferable warranty.
How much time?
Call
Are you watching?
832-329-1687
Are you watching?
to schedule an appointment with Green Tree
you're playing a video
Foundation
game?
Leveling.
Oh no, I don't feel good. I'm just sitting here.
Investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property?
We got
then call
a
Fast
little
Track
less than
Remodeling
2 minutes
at
now.
832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
It's kind of weird to see me walk in and then watch me walk in like
single-family investment property.
30
That
seconds.
sounds
Whether it's a flip
creepy.
rehab
I know, right?
or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect
Especially because,
of a
you're
rehab
not
from
used to
start
seeing your
finish with a
backside.
highly efficient
for sure.
standardized process.
That's
Over the
funny.
last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has
think
helped
they
us
need
to
to update
create
that
our
to,
3
like,
keys
over
to
800.
success. Use a detailed
They
scope
just
of work
updated
so that
it.
everything
I
gets
know,
done.
right? But they're
Train and
doing,
maintain
like, a
quality
bunch of
crews
houses
so
every
it gets
quarter.
done right,
Wow.
and complete the
Yeah.
work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Are you expecting to close accurately, on time, and with lots of communication
All right,
on your
1
home
minute.
purchase?
All right.
You've come to the right place.
So how long have you not
I'm
been
Jennifer
feeling well?
Hernandez, Senior
This
Loan
was
Officer with
yesterday.
Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Our goal is to give our borrowers and referral partners an amazing experience during the loan process. My team believes in putting people and culture before results. Our company concentrates on building those teams who operate with structure, process, and recognition for going the extra mile for you. This way, we have the energy to make this your best home purchase ever. Give us a call today to find out the simple steps to get started. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, the Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage. jennifer.legacymutual.com or call 713-579-3611. Again, jennifer.legacymutual.com. We can't wait to consult with you soon. NMLS 514497.
All right,
Equal
stand
Housing
by.
Opportunity Lender. NMLS 514497.
All right,
This
Tom.
is
Hot
Business
mics in
1110.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. Phil, good morning. How are you doing? So, saying hello to people that are on the Book of Faces that I know are listening because they're watching me. You know, it's kind of weird. I was at a networking event not too long ago, and somebody said, yeah, I watch your radio show every day. And I was like, that sounds kind of strange because most people listen to radio shows. But what they're talking about is we're live on the Book of Faces at Right Path Real Estate. So just go to facebook.com, like the Right Path Real Estate page, and you can see this show, all our previous shows. You get a wealth of education every single day that we're live on the radio. We were actually out of town in Dallas last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we were not live on Thursday, we were not live on Friday, and we were not live on Monday. So we had best of shows. And so apologize for that. Every now and then it's going to happen. So it looks like that we're going to be doing our events every Thursday, our free events in Dallas, alternating Dallas and Houston. So every other week in Houston and then every other week on the opposite weeks on Thursdays in Dallas. So going to try and bring good quality content every single week to you. Last week we talked about how to estimate a rehab in under 15 minutes. And if you're struggling with walking in, that's one of the things that I found fascinating when I first got started in this business. I reverse engineered how to calculate rehabs based on a dollars per square foot basis pretty quickly. So I could walk in and figure out what I could do for $10 a foot, $20 a foot, $30 a foot, $40 a foot, every $10 increment. There's a massive amount of differences between what you can do for a $20 a foot versus a $30 a foot rehab. And whether it's a 1,200 square foot house or a 3,000 square foot house, what you can do for $30 a foot is about the same in both of those houses. So that means if you're doing a 3,000 square foot house at $30 a foot, that's about a $90,000 rehab. And if you're doing the exact same thing on a 1,200 square foot house, that's a $36,000 rehab. And what's fascinating to me is that oftentimes when investors are first getting started, they go, I just am kind of sticking my toe in the water. I don't want to make any big mistakes, don't want to make any big commitments, so I want to start out with a small rehab. And so they define small rehab based on the total dollar amount. So what I try and explain to them, that means that you want to do a house that's not very large in terms of square footage. Like, no, I'm not saying that. I don't want it to be a very big rehab. And I'm like, well, how are you defining big rehab? Well, total dollar spent. I'd like to keep it kind of under $30,000. And I'm like, well, $30,000 on a 1,000 square foot house is $30 a foot. That's a much more complicated rehab than a $15 a square foot rehab on a 3,000 square foot house, which is really not much more than carpet and paint, maybe updating some light fixtures and maybe some plumbing fixtures, maybe replacing the hot water heater and the air conditioner. That's about it for $15 a foot. Something relatively light. But you would be at $45,000 for a 3,000 square foot house on a $15 foot rehab versus on a 1,000 square foot house being a $30 foot rehab only being at $30,000. It's a lot harder to do a $30 foot rehab than it is a $15 foot rehab. That's where the complication comes in. So start learning your numbers on a dollar per square foot basis. If nothing else, that nugget there was worth listening to the show today. If you've never heard that before, and if you have, you've probably heard it from me or from from Right Path Real Estate or from listening to me or Fast Track, because that's one of the things that I figured out early on is when I was reverse engineering Fast Track as a business, that I had to figure out how do I quantify being able to go in quickly and figure out what rehabs are. And what you realize is that, hey, larger square footage houses are more expensive to paint than smaller. They're more expensive to carpet or to tile. There's just more tile in a larger house. And you hear that and you're like, duh, that's kind of obvious. But it's amazing how nobody figures out that that's what affects the price more than anything, is that dollars per square foot. I figured out early on that if I could buy houses for $40 a foot, and I could put $30 a foot in them. So now I own them for $70 a foot. And I could sell it for $105 a foot. It's not rocket surgery. I'm making money, right? I'm making $35 a foot. All I need to do that is on 1 million square foot a year. And I could make $35 million every year. And if you budget right, you can live on that. I mean, you can't go crazy buying islands and stuff like that. But, if you budget right, other than buying islands, there's a lot that you can get done in a year on that kind of budget. So then it's just a matter of marketing and scaling and doing all those. Now, the difference here, though, is that oftentimes people get stuck. Because if I teach you how to bake a cake, then you can learn that skill set of the ingredients and the formulation of baking a cake. And we can have a lot of fun in the kitchen and cracking some eggs and throwing some flour around and playing with the butter, all that kind of stuff, getting the temperature of the oven just right, watching the cake rise, and enjoying eating a really good cake. The fruit of our labor, right? But baking a cake and being in the cake making business are two totally different things. You can be really great at baking one cake, but that doesn't mean that you have the skill set for making cakes on a business scale where you could go out and make, let's say, 100 cakes in a day. Because, if you're making just one cake, who cares if eggs are, 99 cents a dozen or $1.50 a dozen or $2 a dozen or $5 a dozen, or your neighbor gave them to you for free, right? And it doesn't really matter what the water out of your tap cost, or if you're using filtered or bottled water, or whatever the cake mix that you used, or if you're making it from scratch. You don't really care what the individual ingredients cost, because on just one, it really doesn't matter. But if you've ever watched Shark Tank, one of the big things that the sharks are always asking is, well, what's your cost for this? And can that come down as you start doing volume? And to do just one transaction, and that's the problem with most real estate education today, is it just teaches a single transaction. It teaches you how to go out and find one house and then work that house all the way through, where you find it, you meet with the seller, you negotiate with it, you find all the contractors, the subs, the plumber, the electrician, the roofers, the foundation, or if you're trying to play small ball, just the handyman or the painter, or you decide to paint it yourself. I have to tell you a funny story about my daughter. Last night I was sitting down for dinner, and she says, "Hey, Dad," and what I've told her is that, hey, I'm going to buy a couple of houses, and the cash flow from those houses, I'm going to buy a couple of houses in her name, and the cash flow from those houses is what's going to pay for her college education. And what she said is, "Hey, Dad, when I buy my first house, can I paint it myself? Because it's my house. Can I do that?" And I said, "No, you can't." And she says, "Why not?" And I said, "Because I want you to learn the skill set of being an investor, not a painter." Yeah, I'm not freaking out Nikki right now. I just wanted that to settle for a moment.
You were scaring me.
Yeah, I just wanted to. That was a dramatic pause. And so Nikki, just calm down a little bit. So I want y'all to hear that. I want my daughter to learn how to be a better investor. And learning how to paint a house does not make you a better investor. Running the numbers, finding the deal, analyzing it, running the comps, negotiating with the seller, marketing it. That's what teaches you how to be a better investor. Learning how to paint teaches you how to be a better painter. And in our society, in capitalism, painters don't make the same wage, unfortunately, than investors do. It's just like, hey, teachers don't make the same wage that basketball players do. I know it's not fair, but entertainers make more money than teachers do. Now, teachers are a very noble profession, and I'm not saying anything anti-teacher, but you work really, really hard, get a college degree, and you don't make a lot of money. I want my daughter to learn how to be an investor, not a painter. So I said, no, I will not allow you to paint your own house, because I want to teach you how you hire painters, because that's what investors do. I want to teach you how to hire foundation people. I want to teach you how to hire trash hauling people. I want to teach you how to hire all the different skills. Or better yet, I want to teach you how to hire the general contractor, and then you move on to the next deal. That's what I want to teach you how to do, so you can enjoy the fruits of your labor, so you can compress time. So that was an interesting conversation. And you know what? She's 12 years old, and she got it. Initially, there was a little bit of pushback. She goes, but I think it'd be fun to paint the house. And I go, I get it. I know you think it would be fun. But no, you can't do it. You know, it's a lesson that I figured out at about 16 years old. I've told this story before, but it's worth sharing again. When I was 16 years old, I didn't mind working. I had a job starting when I was 13. Started out as a busboy when I was 13 years old. I had a tough time getting a job when I was 14 because the labor laws changed then. You had a lot of people couldn't hire anybody under the age of 16 because workers' comp laws changed at the time. So then I got a job at 15 sacking groceries, and I was a cashier at 16 working at a grocery store here in Houston. And so it would take me about 4 hours to mow the yard at my house. And my dad said it was the oldest son, that's me, the oldest son's responsibility to mow the yard. And what I did is I didn't like mowing the yard very much. I enjoyed working as a cashier in the grocery store, and I made about $7 an hour at the time. And so I could make $28 working in the grocery store, and it cost about $20 to hire my friend Peter Taliha. He lives in Austin. He's a fireman. Hey, Peter, what's up? And so Peter started a lawn mowing business, and I hired him to mow the yard because he could do it. He brought a whole crew out, get in and out in about an hour with his crew of like 2 or 3 guys. And that was a good business for him. And so I would pay Peter, my friend, for his lawn mowing business at 16 years old. And that didn't make my dad real happy because he said, you know what? I don't like that my son has his own lawn boy at 16 years old. But what I figured out is I can make $7 an hour and leverage my time and do something I enjoy doing and make more money than what it cost me to do something I didn't enjoy doing in that 4 hours. So as you want to increase your income, you have to start quantifying what is your time worth. And most people, they don't ever decide how much they want to make in a year and what that works out to on an hourly basis. I figured this out one time. A former business partner I had, I said, hey, how much is your time worth? And he goes, I've never thought about it like that. And I said, well, okay, that's a problem. And I said, is your time worth $1 million an hour? And he goes, no. And I said, is it worth $1 an hour? And he goes, well, heck no. And he sounded more offended by the dollar than the $1 million. And I was my point was I want to be way off in both directions, right? And he goes, and I said, well, now that we've got it bracketed, we can kind of work it down. Is it $500,000 and $2? Is it $250,000 an hour and $4? Is it, I could keep working down. And he goes, well, let's say I want to make $100,000 a year. Hey, by the way, you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. That's 713-785-1817. Give us a call. We're going into a break, and I'll continue this conversation on the other side of the break.
Mic's off.
I figured that was a good stopping point. I know it's a minute early, but I figured I'd maybe squeeze a little more time on the other side of the section.
All right.
Man, you do not sound like you're feeling good.
No, I don't feel good.
Yeah. What are you taking for it?
Did you know that there are over
I just been taking some, like my stomach hurts. I just been taking some
in the U.S.
ibuprofen.
Imagine if you could use someone's IRA to fund all of your deals. Well, you can. Quest IRA is based locally here in Houston, Texas. At Quest IRA, we offer retirement accounts that can be used to invest in real estate, promissory notes, private entities, and much more. Many of our clients loan money from their IRAs to fund real estate deals all over the country. We don't sell any investments or give advice. However, we do hold free networking events, weekly educational classes, and free consultations with an IRA
Facebook
specialist.
Folks, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in.
Visit our website at questira.com or call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs. To tap into the $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S., call Quest IRA at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or go to our website, questira.com.
You found or inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. Next Gen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give NextGen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Junk King is your full-service junk and clutter removal solution. You just point and we will do all of the work. Junk and clutter can be appliances, furniture, yard waste, trash, construction or remodeling debris, items left by former tenants, or anything you wish to dispose of that does not require a permit for hauling. Apartment, attic, garage, and office cleanouts or yard cleanups. We even assist with tenant evictions where law enforcement is present. Our courteous, uniformed, and professionally trained teams provide you with free estimates, We will beat any comparable competitor's written quote, and we even sweep up after every job at no additional cost. Junk King is the greenest junk hauling service in North America. We donate, recycle, repurpose, and reuse as much as possible from every load, and we are averaging 60 to 80% nationwide. Fully insured, Junk King would love the opportunity to showcase our services and earn your business. 1-888-888-JUNK.
Are you an active real estate investor? If so, a real estate attorney is a crucial member to add to your team. Contact Ehlert Law at 346-231-1120. Ehlert Law serves clients in real estate and business law with principal offices in Houston and their acquisitions and dispositions. We are equipped to serve you in your residential and commercial real estate law needs. Contact Ehlert Law at 346-231-1120. We draft and review docs and structured transactions and represent you in disputes and litigation. Or choose one of our transaction packages to cover your sub-2, wholesale, wraps, or private financing deals. Our business and commercial services include business contracts, entity formations, and business consultations. If you need a reliable, dedicated firm to serve on your team, contact Ehlert Law at 346-231-1120. 346-231-1120. Paid for by Gerald Ehlert, Principal Offices in Houston, not board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization.
Investor Loan Source is Houston's premier investor loan company. Our products and approval process are unique in the Houston marketplace. First of all, we loan based on the asset alone. That means no credit minimums, no income requirements, and no reserve minimums. Second, we have short-term loans for fix and flips and several long-term options for rental properties. Since we're asset-based lenders, everyone is approved. Check out Investor Loan Source at ILS.cash.
All right, Tom, stand by.
That's ILS.cash.
This is Business.
All right, Tom, hot mics in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817, 713-785-1817. So what I was sharing with you before the break is that you've got to figure out what your time is worth on an hourly basis. So the former business partner that I had, what we figured out is he wanted to make about $100,000 a year. And so what I said is, let's do the math on that. So if you're going to work 50 weeks out of the year, that's about $2,000 a week. And if you're going to work about 50 hours out of the week, that's about $40 an hour. So if you're not doing $40 an hour tasks, then it's going to be difficult for you to get to the $100,000 a year. So you've got to be willing to outsource the things that are taking you away from $40 an hour tasks. Sometimes what happens is we get so caught up doing $10 an hour, $12 an hour, $15 an hour tasks that it doesn't free up enough time for us to do the $40, $50, $75, $100 an hour task. And if you want to grow your income, what you've got to do is grow your value of time in the marketplace. One of the things I love about Jim Rohn is he says, hey, the great thing about human nature is we have the ability to become, right? If you don't like where you are in life, you can become something better. You can work more on yourself. He says, don't wish that life were easier. Wish that you were better. You have the ability to grow your skill set, to increase your value in the marketplace. Capitalism rewards value in the marketplace. That's how you can tell what your worth in the marketplace is by how much you make, right? That's the way we keep score. But if you're never stuck, we don't have like a class system within our society. It's not like medieval days. You were born into a particular class or caste and you were stuck there forever and ever. You know, the great thing about the United States is that we have the ability to start wherever we start and finish wherever you want to finish, because we can constantly improve our skill set, our knowledge base. You know, we were having an event last night, one of our training classes last night for our students. And one of our students made the comment last night. He said, the thing I struggle with is I look at, Tom, your skill set in sales, and I realize I'm not there with my skill set in sales. But you reminded us last night is, hey, don't compare myself to where you are now with years and years of practice and experience and training and really being at work on that. Compare yourself to where you were when you started, when you didn't know anything about sales, and realize that it's a journey and you can shortcut that journey. You know, if I had this journey to go over again, knowing what I know now about, you know, sales and all of that, I could get to where I am even faster. In fact, we were asking this of the weekend retreat this past weekend in Dallas, that, hey, if Jason and I had 2013 to go back to again, July of 2013, but we knew then what we know now, could we get to 300 houses faster than we did it the first time? And the answer is absolutely. Of course you could. But does that mean that we wouldn't go back and do it again the same way in terms of take away the knowledge that we have now? Would we still do it the same way? Absolutely. Has the market changed? A little bit. In fact, it's about every 90 days it changes somewhat. And so I think that's one of the reasons why when you look at who's coaching you in the marketplace, lots of people say they're doing deals. The reality is they're partnering on student deals. They're not really doing the deals themselves. They're not doing the marketing. They're not doing the finding of the deals. They're funding a little bit of the deals, but they're not really, you know, out in the marketplace getting their hands dirty, so to speak. And I think if you're not doing that, as the market shifts month to month or quarter to quarter, people miss what those shifts are unless you're, you know, down and dirty in the marketing, because things are constantly changing. You've got it, and I feel like that's one of the advantages we have at Houston House Buyers and at RightPath is that because of Houston House Buyers and because of the number of deals that we're doing and because of the areas that we're marketing in and because of, you know, our sales presentation that's working consistently and predictably and the way that our marketing works and the way that our numbers, you know, we see shifts and when there's a slight increase in construction costs, we see that because we're constantly doing deals. And we had a student in the Boston marketplace talking about what's been going on in his marketplace. And because he's actively doing deals, you know, we know that what he's saying is accurate because you can tell he did a deal last month. He did a deal, you know, 3 months ago. He did a deal 6 months ago. And he can see the changes because hedge funds have gone in there and driven up they're utilizing a lot of the labor pool that's in the marketplace. They're driving up the labor costs. And so if you're not actively doing those things, then it's going to be difficult for you to see, you know, what those changes are in the marketplace. So if you're picking somebody that's going to coach you, if I wanted to become a brain surgeon, I would want to learn from, you know, someone that's actually doing brain surgery. I wouldn't want to go to my pediatrician or my veterinarian or, you know, my accountant and say, hey, teach me brain surgery. I'd want to learn from someone that was actually in the operating room, you know, cutting on people's craniums. I mean, that's what I'd want to do. If I want to learn how to be a race car driver, I'd want to learn how to, you know, not a go-kart driver, not a, you know, I'd want to learn, you know, whatever type of driving. Because let's face it, drag strip driving is different than NASCAR driving, which is different than Indy driving. So I'd want to learn from someone who was actually doing that. And it wouldn't make sense to learn from someone that's not doing that or that did it 20 years ago. I mean, Mario Andretti's a great guy, but I don't know that I'd want to learn from Mario Andretti. I'd want to learn from somebody that's doing it today because how race car driving is done, you know, back when Mario Andretti was doing driving, you know, hey, and not to knock Mario Andretti, okay? But that style of driving, that style of, you know, racing, that style of reaction time and all things they happen so much faster now. So I wouldn't want to learn, you know, from somebody that did buy and hold investing 20-something years ago. I'd want to learn from somebody that's actively doing that today, especially on the single-family side. You know, if you want to learn buy and hold single-family investing, I'd want to learn that from someone that's doing that today and that's teaching students. But more importantly is what kind of results are students getting? And what I see is going back to the cake baking business is that oftentimes what will happen is that people get stuck at about 15 or 20 transactions a year. And the skill set that it takes to get to 15 or 20 transactions a year is not the same skill set that it takes to get to 50 transactions a year. And it's certainly not the same skill set that it takes to get to 100 transactions a year. It's a totally different, you can, without business skills, you can grow with just grit and determination. You can do a lot of things wrong and just work really, really hard and get to 15 or 20 transactions a year. But that's not going to allow you to scale past 20 transactions a year with that skill set. You've got to grow your skill set to get beyond that. You've got to grow your business knowledge. You've got to grow your systems. You've got to grow your processes. You've got to grow your mindset. It's the reason why we have so many coaches from other, real estate investing guru businesses out there that, they get stuck at about 15 or 20. I mean, we've had people that have been, they've done 3-day weekend, immersion classes or things like that for other organizations or just 3-day weekend trainings that for other organizations. And what happens is that they come to us and say, hey, I've gotten stuck at about 15. I've done about 15 a year, and I'm just working so many hours. My wife and I, we're doing this full time. We're just killing ourselves, and we seem to be, no matter how much harder we work, we seem to be stuck at about 15. And we say, yeah, that's exactly right. Because what got you to 15 won't get you to 50. And what got you to 15 won't get you past 50 to 100. And so it's, what you know, but it's not the person that's doing what you're doing. It's like you're drowning and you're like, man, I'm drowning, but I need to teach myself how to swim. I've got to rescue myself. Man, if you're drowning in a lake or an ocean or something like that, you better have somebody else that's throwing you a vest or a life raft or that's coming you up behind you or a ring or something like that, coming up behind you and pulling you out, because very few people that are drowning in water can save themselves. And so that's essentially what starts happening in the real estate investing world. It's like you're trying to save yourself out of the situation that you're in, but you only know how to do what you're doing. If you're drowning, you only know how to flop around and do what you're doing, right? So you can't rescue yourself if you're drowning. And what happens oftentimes is that, you may know how to swim even, and yet you're tuckered out. You don't know how to swim like can you imagine if somebody like Michael Phelps, can you picture him ever drowning? I mean, I think that would be, what an oddity or a rarity, but he knows how to swim so efficiently. It would be a very rare situation for somebody like Michael Phelps to drown, because he knows how to rest in the water, right? He knows how to float. He knows how to rest. He wouldn't be flailing around. He could go a really, really long time. I think that probably the biggest thing would be like the physical part about hypothermia or something like that. That might be an issue. But take that away, just in terms of fatigue, that's not going to happen for him, right? And so if I were going to learn how to swim, wouldn't you want to learn how to swim from like a professional swim coach? Jason talks about in our weekend retreat from time to time that Jason was a lifeguard, when he was younger, and his oldest son was, learning how to swim. And it wasn't Jason, even though Jason knows how to swim and knows how to be a lifeguard. And let's face it, it's a different skill set to be a lifeguard than it is to be a swim coach. And so there's an Olympic swimmer that's from Sugar Land, and which, where we live. And so he got involved with the swim club where this Olympic swimmer teaches, swimming. So if you had an opportunity for your kid to learn from a gymnastics coach, wouldn't you want somebody that had done extremely well? It's the reason why the Caroli, gym has been so popular for years and years and years here in Houston. And it's the reason why, if you ever want to learn a skill set, try and learn from someone that's actually getting it done at an extremely high level. There's no substitute for practical experience where you're succeeding at a high level. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. If you want to talk about finding deals, funding deals, marketing deals, if you want to talk about general contracting, if you want to talk about estimating rehabs, if you want to talk about inspections, if you want to talk about particular sales scenarios, if you want to, there's so many things that we can talk about on this radio show. Feel free to give us a call, 713-785-1817.
Mic's off.
I sure hope you get to feeling better, or that you're off soon.
Me too.
So you can go get some sleep.
Right.
A great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. Next Gen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give NextGen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Do you have cracks in your brick, doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart? Then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. Foundation Check has been in business since 2009 and has completed over 1,400 evaluations. We're not in the business of repairing foundations or selling you unnecessary peer work, but we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825. Or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com. That's foundationcheck.com.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes or binders? The agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. We're here for you. Are you a rehabber, wholesaler, buy and hold, or flipper? Bundling your properties on a single policy will help save time and money. Benchmark has been in business for over 10 years, and we insure over 30,000 properties. Contact Benchmark about our exclusive investor package. Call us and let us show you what we can do for you at 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com. That's benchmarkbroker.com. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Virtuoso Graphics is not your ordinary sign shop. We are your one-stop shop for all your signage and graphics needs. We are located in the Galleria area and have been in business for over 13 years. We offer a wide variety of signage products including Bandit, aluminum, and ADA compliant signs to 3D letters. Need something printed? We can get that done too. From outdoor banners to business cards and anything in between. Take advantage of our laser engraving services. We can custom engrave on many products available through our catalogs or your own personal items. From large orders to small, we can accommodate your specific needs. We pride ourselves on customer service and work one-on-one with customers to make sure they get a good quality product. Come view our showroom to browse our many samples to get you inspired. Want your business to get noticed? Give us a call at 713-623-4425 or visit our website at virtuoso-graphics.com.
Investor Loan Source is Houston's premier investor loan company. Our products and approval process are unique in the Houston marketplace. First of all, we loan based on the asset alone. That means no credit minimums, no income requirements, and no reserve minimums. Second, we have short-term loans for fix and flips and several long-term options for rental properties. Since we're asset-based lenders, everyone is approved. Check out Investor Loan Source at ils.cash.
All right, stand by.
That's ils.cash.
All right, hot mics in
This
5,
is Business
4,
1110.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. So I get asked a lot, how do I get started in real estate investing? And the challenge with that question is, it's a little bit like in Alice in Wonderland when, Alice said, well, what road do I take? And the cat said, well, where do you want to go? And she goes, I don't know. And then the cat answered, well, then it really doesn't matter which road you take. And I feel like oftentimes in real estate investing, that's what happens. People will show up at a real estate investing event, and they're asking the question, well, how do I get started? And then our question back is, well, where are you trying to get to? And they say, I don't know. And the reality is it's difficult to answer the question of how do you get started if you haven't decided where you're trying to get to. You've got to look at, where do I want to get to a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? When you get in the real estate investing business, what people miss is, because it's kind of like a transaction, when you first do your first deal, people don't think of it in terms of a business. And so can you imagine if you said, I want to start a restaurant? And somebody would ask, well, what kind of restaurant do you want to start? And they would go, I don't know. Can I tell you, until you decide what kind of restaurant you want to start, it's going to be really, really difficult to be successful starting a real estate business. That's going to be really, really challenging. We talk from time to time about if you wanted to start a real estate business, are you trying to start something like what Tillman Fertitta does, with the whole Landry's and all of that, and Golden Nugget. I mean, all the restaurant brands that he owns, the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, he owns a ton of brands. I mean, go to Landry's and look at all the different brands that they own, or Google, Tillman Fertitta. Look at the Wikipedia page and look at how he got started and things like that. Are you trying to get to where he got, or are you trying to, we assigned a name to a lady that's down the street from where our office building is. We call her Marta. We don't really know what her real name is, but we call her Marta. And she started a restaurant business by borrowing a grocery cart from Fiesta, sticking an Igloo cooler inside of it, and she sells tamales out of the Igloo cooler. Now, technically, she's in the restaurant business. Now, if you say, hey, Tom, I want to get started in the restaurant business, I'd go, well, are you trying to get to where Marta is, or where Tillman Fertitta is, or someplace in between? And then once you decide where you're trying to get to, what we have to analyze is, or at least evaluate, is what financial resources, what time resources, and what experience level do you have? And one of the challenges we see in real estate education today is no one, except for us, ask, where are you trying to get to? Where do you want to be a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? What do you want your real estate business to look like then? Let's start with a goal in mind. If you don't start with the end in mind, how do you ever decide if you're on track or not?
1 minute. And
then once you decide where you're trying to get to, then you can evaluate where you're starting and design the quickest path. So go to Meetup, go to our Right Path Real Estate page, come to our event, talk with like-minded people, talk to our students that are getting success. We have 3 students right now that are on track to, we've got one student that's going to have if everything falls just right, going to have $100,000 a month next month. If you'd like to know about how that works, he came to our class and put everything that we're teaching into action, and he's going to have a killer next month. And if you can do it 1 month, you can do it another month, and he's going to be on track to make $1 million this next year. And we've got 2 other students. So show up at our event, $99.99 Westheimer.
20 seconds.
You've been listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll see you on Thursday.
All right, mic's off. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too. Hope you get to feeling better.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.